the book of Malachi, chapter number 3, there is a very important question that is asked in reference to the master of the covenant. That when he appears, it says in verse 2, and who is able to bear the day of his coming, and who is able to stand when he appears. This Barry Phillips with 10-minute Torah, day number 3, the Torah portion, Qorach, referencing him as a bald man or the balded one. When we studied this Torah portion, Qorach, we see an outright rebellion, a heartfelt, very sincere, perhaps a very loophole of legalism attempt here to reorder things and to make it more, shall we say, fair among the people as far as the distribution of power, authority, and leadership. Here in America, we've gone all through generations of struggles as to who should be in power and who should not. Sometimes it would seem we make good choices, and obviously we've made some bad ones. But you can't base everything just upon the amount of money somebody has in their pocket, which we tend to do. There's a lot of factors as to what the state or the real state and status of a nation of people might be. In regards to Israel, they're in the midst of the wilderness. They're in the process of a journey to get to their prophesied inheritance and homeland. And they have become so waylaid, so distracted by their own personal agendas and fears and actions of unbelief that they have lost a generation. A generation is now doomed to failure and death because of their stiff necks and their hard hearts as the way that they approach Yah, the way that they have treated his appointed leadership in Moshe and Aaron. So up stands Qorach, and he is evidently a man of great persuasive ability, charisma, has evidently the ability to offer a very fine speech. And he has corralled a large section of very influential men to rise up with him. I had an occasion once, many years ago as a pastor, someone walked into my office and said, "Preacher, a lot of people are upset." Really? Took out a sheet of paper and grabbed a pen and said, "Let me know who they are and I'll go work some things out. We'll go figure out what's going on." "Oh, I can't do that. I can't give you any names." You're telling me that I have a problem and giving me no recourse or means to fix it. So who are we talking about? After several attempts to try to get to the root of this and hearing a refusal of any names, I looked at the messenger and said, "The only person that's really upset is you. So what's bugging you?" They walked out and never came back. They had been an ardent supporter, quote unquote, for a long period of time prior to that. But Yah has a way of revealing what the real nature and issues of our heart is, even to others. We need to walk carefully. It's dangerous to stand before Yah and tell him how it's going to be. Now, yesterday, I talked to you about the fact that if every man is set apart, every man is holy, every man has Yah dwelling within him, on equal footing with Moshe and Aaron, and that their Torah and that their leadership is illegitimate because it is elevated above the masses, then everything that Moshe has come down from the mountain and presented to them is now suspect. It's called into question. And equally to that, then, every man, every woman has the ability to discern the Torah for themselves, know it for themselves, even if their version greatly differs from someone else. And that's kind of where we are in a lot of ways. So Moshe says in Numbers or Bamidbar chapter 16, beginning with verse 16, Then Moshe said to Qorach, tomorrow you and all your company shall be before Yahweh, you and they and Aaron, and take each one his fire holder or fire pan, and you shall put incense on it, and let each one bring his fire holder before Yahweh, 250 fire holders, and you and Aaron, each with his fire holder. So each one took his fire holder, put fire on it, laid incense on it, and stood at the door of the tent of appointment with Moshe and Aaron. Verse 19 says, and Qorach assembled all the congregation. He got everybody against them at the door of the tent of appointment. Then the esteem of Yahweh appeared to all the congregation. Yahweh spoke to Moshe and to Aaron, saying, separate yourselves from the midst of this congregation, and let me consume them in a moment. They ask a very important question. O Elohim of all the spirits of all flesh, when one man sins, are you wroth with the entire congregation? Will Yah kill us all because of the actions of one man? Remember, Qorach is a relative. He's a first cousin to Moshe and to Aaron. They knew this man. The same abilities and persuasions and personality traits could have been very well found in Qorach as his cousins. A man of power and persuasion. But he led them down the wrong path. I have to ask the question, did 250 men not remember what happened to Aaron's own sons when they transgressed and did the exact same thing that they were getting ready to do, and that they died before Yah in a moment of time? If Yah did not spare Aaron's own sons for transgressing a line of propriety and protocol, how did they think that they were going to fare? They did just think, well, one will be accepted and we'll all the rest of us just go home. They put their life on the line for what they declared that they were believing to be true. Very sincere, obviously. Risky, maybe not so much in their estimation. But the earth opens up and swallows Dathan and Abiram and their families and their little ones. Opens up and swallows Qorach's family. Fire comes out of the presence of Yah, and 250 plus men are dead. The next day, the people have the audacity, the unmitigated gall to stand before Moshe and Aaron and point their skinny little fingers in their face and say, you killed the people of Elohim. By your own magic, Moshe, you just opened up the earth and you killed people. A plague breaks out and 14,700 people die before Aaron can stand between the living and the dead with that same fire pan offering up incense. Now, what is the significance of this fire pan thing? It is the ultimate expressions of priestly prayers and intercessions in the behalf of a nation. He is the appointed man who stands between Yah and his people and has the ability to offer up incense, prayers, intercessions, incredible worship and acknowledgement of the Most High, and the most intimately afforded opportunity outside of Yom Kippur when he can step into the most set-apart place. Daily he is to do this and to worship the King and pray for Israel. We have to understand and know that when we are praying our own agendas according to our own private Torahs, we're telling Elohim, you have no right to choose our leadership. You have no right to tell us what we want, what we're supposed to do outside of what we want to hear. And yet we're going to worship you and adore you as our King, and yet we're going to do it our own way. People died. Altogether, some 15,000 people in the space of about 24 hours. It's dangerous to be arrogant when the messenger appears. Who can stand when he does so? More tomorrow. Till then, shalom.